So I just had you go through that, and I know it wasn't comfortable. A lot of times I like to kind of sneak up on it, a little more gently. But anyway, as you were going through it, um, on a scale of 0 to 10, where 10 is maximum emotional traumatic response, and 0 is nothing. What number did you get to as you recalled that?
Not the tinnitus, just the feeling, you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, just the emotion about it.
Um, well, I would say, I would say like maybe 5 or 6. I've done a lot of journaling on it, so I thought I had let go of a lot, but there was still that pain there.
Yeah. Okay. And it is my intuitive guess, Sue, and this is just me having done this for years. Okay, that that the actual intensity is higher than a 5 or 6. I mean, I pick it up as more like a 7, 8, or 9. That's what I pick it up as. You may not be recognizing that, and maybe I'm not, I'm wrong. But I'm just giving you that little feedback. Is probably higher, at least in my experience, than maybe it appears. But anyway, so you know where the EFT points are, do you not? Okay. So in a moment I'm going to walk you through that, but right now what I want to do on this event, um, if this event was a movie where your dad said what he was going to say, or said what he said, if that was a movie, how long would that movie last?
You mean in reality, how long it lasted?
Yeah.
Oh, well, their fight, like the fight that led up to it was very difficult because there was, violence. And so I'm thinking it probably lasted 20, 20 minutes or more, maybe 20
Okay.
minutes.
So that would be the entire argument, 20 minutes, and this is how I'm hearing it. There's a crescendo moment and a peak moment near the end of it where he says he's going to leave you. He's going to leave everybody.
I think for me, the sting, the hardest part, that mean I didn't want to hear that, but I think the hardest part was when I heard, um, I think it was a belt that hit my mother, and I could hear, hearing her cry. I think that was probably the hardest to hear.
Okay. All right. So I'm hearing now in this event two crescendos. One is the belt incident, and the other would be I'm going to leave you.
Mhm.
Can you give me the exact words, or do you recall the exact words your father said about leaving?
I can't remember his wording.
That's okay. That's okay. If you
Oh.
if you can, fine. If you can't, that's okay. All right. So what I want to do now is to do EFT on that first crescendo. We're going to call it the belt. The belt. We'll call it the belt movie. Okay. Um, Now I don't want to put you through a lot of. I'm going to minimize emotional turmoil. So what I'd like to have you do, and this is what we call the tearless trauma technique. Okay. I'd like to have you make a guess for me, and that is if you were to close your eyes, go through this, and really vividly imagine and bring up this whole thing in the belt and your mother crying and all of this. Uh, what number on a scale of 0 to 10 in intensity do you think you would get to?
If I was in that moment again,
Yeah,
in that,
if you closed your eyes and vividly reimagined that, what number do you think you'd get to now?
oh, probably 9.
Okay. It, it, it's a guess at this moment. I don't want to drag you through it, okay? And that guess will do, okay? Tap with me, if you will, okay? Okay. Even though I have this belt movie,
Even though I have the Spelt movie,
and it's very stressful,
and it's very stressful
and very intense.
and very
I
intense.
deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Up here, this belt movie,
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 this belt movie.
this belt movie.
Now, nowadays, when we do the collarbone point, Sue, an easy way is to take your fist and just thump at the top of your breastbone about where a man would nod his tie, a little higher. Yeah, there you go. Just thump there, and say this belt movie,
This belt movie,
and then under your arm, this belt movie.
this belt movie.
Okay. Now, guess for me again. If you were to vividly imagine this belt incident, would you still be a 9? Do you think, or would some other number?
Yeah, it's still a 9.
Still a 9. Okay. And what is coming? What do you think is coming up here? Is it the actual sound of the belt? It's your mother crying, or what?
My mom crying.
Okay. Okay. Let me just point something out here. When we first started talking about it, it was the actual belt hitting your mother. Okay. But you also mentioned she was crying. If you would focus just on the belt hitting your mother, just that piece of it, and tell me what number that is.
9.
9, still 9. Okay, with me. Okay. I'm going to get a little more specific. As you experience that belt hitting, as you remember that, name the emotion. Are you feeling fear? Are you feeling anger? Are you feeling guilt? Give me the emotion for it.
Oh, fear.
Fear, okay. Even though I have this great fear
Even though I have this great fear
of many years ago,
of many years ago,
it's a long time ago,
it's a long time ago,
it isn't happening anymore.
it isn't happening anymore.
That's true? That's true?
Yes,
Okay.
that's true.
It's history,
It's history,
but I'm still carrying it around unnecessarily.
but I'm still carrying it around with me unnecessarily.
True statement? That's a
Yeah.
true. Oh, that's a true. Okay. All right. I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
This belt incident fear.
This belt incident fear.
This belt incident fear.
This belt incident fear.
All right. Keep going.
This belt incident fear. 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 This belt incident fear.
Okay. What age were you at this time?
Um, 13 or 14.
Okay. All right. Step with me. Even though I was 13 or 14 years old,
Even though I was 13 or 14 years old,
and certainly not prepared for this kind of violence,
and certainly not prepared for this kind of violence,
I had great fear about this.
I had great fear about this.
Understandable fear.
Understandable fear.
Um, and this action is not even justifiable by my father.
And this action is not even justifiable by my father.
Okay. Now, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Anytime I say something that you want to correct, please do so, okay?
That's true, though.
Okay, all right. I'm just checking with you. I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely accept myself.
Major fear.
Major fear.
Major fear.
Major fear.
Major fear.
Major fear.
Keep going.
Major fear. Major fear. Major fear. Major fear. Major fear.
Okay. Guess for me again. If you were to revisit mentally this experience, would you still be a 9, or would you be some other number?
Well, I think it's less, but it's I'm not sure why, but it's a little bit now foggy. Like it's not as clear.
Okay.
Um,
And that is somewhat typical of EFT being successful. You're having a harder time getting to it. Foggy is one way of it being. It's a little harder time getting to it. But if it was a 9, what number would you estimate it now?
well, I would say 5 or 6 because I can't seem to get into, I can't quite get into it so much. Like it's not so clear, so I can't
Okay.
get there.
Okay. How do you know it's a 5 or 6? Do you have like a physical sign of some kind or other? A tension in your body or something?
Yeah, it's like before it was like kind of this fear response, just kind of a clenching of
Hmm.
my body, and it's not quite as powerful that tightness and clenching.
Okay, so there's a tightness going on in the body. Is it in the chest, in the body in general, or can you be more specific?
Well, certainly my stomach, but I think my whole chest area.
Okay.
It's,
Chest and abdominal area, including the stomach. All right. And that's at a 5 or 6 level.
hmm
All right. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to aim EFT at that tightness, because that tightness, at least in my experience, is connected to the emotional event itself. And sometimes we can deal with the physical symptom, and the emotional thing behind it starts to collapse. It's just another way of going about it. So let's do that. Even though I have this tightness in my chest and abdominal area,
Even though I have this tightness in my chest and abdominal area,
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Okay. Uh, Chest abdominal tightness.
Chest and abdominal tightness.
Keep going.
Chest and abdominal tightness. 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 Chest and abdominal tightness.
Okay. And check out that tightness now. Is it still a 5 or 6?
No, let's say a 3.
Okay. All right, let's do another round on that, though. Even though I still have some of this chest and abdominal tightness
Even though I still have some of this chest and abdominal tightness
related to the belt violence
related to the belt violence
and the belt fear,
and the belt fear,
I deeply and completely accept myself.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Okay. And then say remaining um, abdominal chest abdominal tightness.
Remaining chest and abdominal tightness.
All right, keep going.
Remaining chest and abdominal tightness. 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 Remaining chest and abdominal tightness.
Okay. Um, now, check in, or just check into the chest and abdominal tightness, just the physical sensation. Is that still a 3?
No, yeah, it's hardly anything there now.
All right,
Um,
0 or 1 or something.
yeah, 1 probably, like just not, doesn't register too much.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now if you would close your eyes and go back to the belt incident, the entire thing, not only the hitting of the belt, but the mother crying and so on, and tell me what number you get to.
I would say only two, maybe.
Okay. Let me ask you that. What tells you it's a two?
It's because my body feels um, not very stressed, like it's more calmer when I'm visualizing that happening.
Okay, let me ask you a different way. How do you know it's not a zero?
Oh, I see. Um, well, because I felt some tightness in my chest and abdomen, but not it wasn't very much. It was um,
Okay.
just some, yes.
All right. So now, for those that are listening in and people maybe healing practitioners and people with the same issue and so on, technically what I've been doing here is I have been what I call taking the edge off. That is, we have been imagining this and we have been tapping on it and we've been doing it sort of mentally and all of that. Um, and that is a form of taking the edge off. What we're going to do now is something I call the tell the story technique.